All right, folks, we are officially live. Welcome to my Sunday weekly live stream where I answer your questions. Here in today's live stream, we're going to be taking a look here at the 60 Epiphone Wilshire. I absolutely love this guitar. It plays and just sounds absolutely incredible. And I think these are really underrated, and I think a lot of people are not familiar with this model. They're not as hip to these Epiphone Wilshires as they are, like, say, a Gibson Les Paul Special or a Les Paul Jr. So I thought that I would just talk a little bit about this, and I can answer y'all's questions here in today's live stream, and we could just hang out, man, and just have some fun and talk everything music and talk everything guitar. So thanks so much for being here. I really do appreciate it, as always. If you guys have any questions for me, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. I'd be happy to answer. But it has really been a busy week for me. I apologize about being a little bit late. I've just been running around like crazy and just getting things ready for the holidays. So Merry Christmas to everybody out there, and Happy New Year that is coming up here soon. And just really hard to believe that it's already this time of the year, man. It's just really been crazy. I mean, this year has just flown by. And, it's just hard to believe, man. Again, it's just crazy, but really excited about the holidays, and I hope everybody has a great holiday. And I'm not going to be able to do the live stream next Sunday because I will be out of town. So I'm going to have to take a couple weeks off, but I will be back, of course. I'm going to try to upload some videos, but we'll see how that goes. I don't really know how that's going to go. It just kind of depends on my schedule. With the holidays, again, it's really chaotic. So we'll see how that goes. But anyways, getting back here to this 60 Epiphone Wilshire, I made a video talking about this guitar, so go and check that out if you haven't already. But man, I am just so happy with this guitar, man. It is just a wonderful instrument. This is a 60, like I was saying, so this is a very rare guitar. Very, very rare. You normally see these from 61, and they normally have a tremolo on them. Now, this guitar, as you can see here, is factory stop bar with an actual ABR1 bridge here, which is just absolutely amazing, and again, just super rare. I mean, really hard to find this particular configuration because, again, normally they do have a tremolo on there. But what I really love so much about this particular configuration is that you actually have here the ABR1 bridge. So you can actually get this guitar to actually properly intonate, unlike an actual Gibson Les Paul Special, because the Les Paul Special does not have an ABR1. It just has a wraparound tailpiece. And, those guitars, I love them. They sound great. They're awesome. But really, the only way to actually get those to intonate properly is if you have the Music City bridge. And now it kind of becomes a question, like, if you change that bridge out in that Les Paul Special, will it now change the tone of the guitar because it's not the same material as the original bridge? But I do think that they sound very good, and I think it is really great to have those to actually be able to intonate that particular instrument. But I just love this Wilshire. I love the fact that it's got a stop bar and it has an ABR1 bridge. It's just awesome. And this guitar in particular just has this really chunky, fat 59 neck profile. Now, when I say a 59 neck profile, it's really hard to really categorize a 59 neck profile because they're all a lot different, and it really depends on the particular instrument that you're actually talking about. But this guitar in particular just has this chunky neck, and it just really goes well with this guitar. And another thing that I just love with this Wilshire is the double cutaway here. You can see here when I get up the board here, it's very easy to grab the 22nd fret. There's nothing in the way here whatsoever. So that's another thing that I just love about this guitar so much. But let's see here. I do want to get to the chat box here. We have a comment from Bent Tom. What's going on, man? Thanks so much for being here. He says here, love you, brother. Man, thank you so much, man. Love you too, man. Thanks so much for being here, and thanks so much for all your support, man. You've been a long-time supporter, and I really appreciate it, man. So thank you so much for that nice comment, man. That's awesome. But yeah, anyways, I mean, this has just been a really amazing guitar, and I just wanted to share this with everybody. here in today's live stream. Go and check out the video. I did a lot of playing, and I just went through this whole guitar, and just demoed it out. But so go and check that out once again if you haven't already. But yeah, I just wanted to share this here with everybody here in today's live stream. I'm just really happy with it, man. I bought this guitar, and I got a 64 ES335 as well that I talked about in my previous live stream, and that guitar has just been excellent. I just love that motherfucker. It just sounds awesome. It plays great, and I just love it, man. So I just love these vintage guitars. I love collecting this stuff. I love buying these instruments. It is really difficult because they are very, very expensive. But man, I just love this stuff so much. But let's see here. We have Revelry in the house. Hey man, what's going on? Nice to see you. Long time no see. Says here, killer dude. Thanks so much. Yeah, man, this is just a really wonderful guitar, man. This is a 60. So again, very, very rare. It's in factory stop bar configuration here, so it doesn't have that garbage tremolo that was on like 61s and stuff. That thing just does not work well at all. But this factory stop bar setup here is very, very rare and is really, really sought after. So really happy with it, man. And these P90s just sound amazing, man. I just love the way that these sound. They're just excellent. Really, really good. But yeah, man, just really happy with this. It's, nice weight. The neck is just to die for, man. It's just excellent. It is just awesome. Even the back of it is very clean. You can see here. It's got 60 pots in here too, so it's all original. It's a totally original guitar. There was a headstock repair on the back here, but other than that, man, it is totally straight. It's totally perfect. So really, really excellent guitar, man. I just cannot put this thing down, man. It's just awesome. I'm not plugged in, obviously, just playing it acoustically, so hopefully it's coming through the mic, but it's pretty quiet. But I'm just not set up with my amp and stuff for this. But let's see, Reverie says here, where did you get that one? Man, I just got this from a friend, man. I got it back in Ohio, and yeah, it's just a really cool guitar, man. I honestly was not really in the market for one of these. But I just found it and I started playing it, and I just completely fell in love with it. And, to be honest with you, I was not really too hip to these guitars, again, and that's why I was even saying with that video, a lot of people I think are just not really too familiar with these, and myself included, I was a lot more hip to like Les Paul specials and stuff, and I had that TV Yellow Les Paul special, which was an amazing guitar. I loved that thing so much. But since I sold that guitar, I didn't have any P90 guitars besides my ES330. So, I started playing this thing, and he was just like, man, check this out and see what you think. And I was just like, holy man, this thing is just amazing. It plays and sounds great. And again, what is so cool is the neck is this real chunky neck, man. It's this 59 profile, and it just feels so good, man. It's just awesome. So I just cannot put this thing down, man. It's just a great guitar. It's definitely up there as one of my favorite P90 guitars for sure. I think it just sounds awesome. And, for me, I like two pickups. I like having a neck pickup. I know a lot of people like the juniors and stuff, and I think that is definitely a sound, just having the one bridge pickup. But I don't know, man. I like having a neck pickup as well. I'm just not too crazy about the single pickup guitars myself. They are cool, of course. I'm not saying that I don't like them. I definitely like them, but I just like having just a bridge pickup and a neck pickup, and to be able to select between the two and have that middle position as well. It's just awesome. So again, really happy with it. But I just thought that I would share this with everybody because, even myself included, I was not really too hip to these. before I bought this one. I had that TV Yellow Les Paul Special, which was awesome, but I didn't have any P90 guitars, and just kind of stumbled on this one, and I was like, wow, this thing is just amazing. And again, what is so cool with it is you can really get up here, because of this cutaway, this double cutaway design. It's just a really cool guitar, man. So again, I've said it a million times, but I just cannot put this thing down. This is great. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, folks, if you guys have any questions for me, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. I also wanted to share with you here this new coffee mug that I got. I'm sipping on some coffee here. This is the Tone mug. So I thought this was pretty cool. It's actually like shaped after like a Fender knob, and it's actually a coffee mug. Very good. It seems to just add this extra little taste to the coffee. I don't know. There's just something about this mug, man. I don't know. But anyways, let's see here. Reverie says here, yeah, 2 pickups are nice. Congrats. Good catch. Happy holidays. Thanks so much, man. Really appreciate it. Thanks so much, and happy holidays to you as well. Sorry, my phone is just going off here. I just got a little bit distracted. But yeah, happy holidays to you as well, man. Let's see here. We have brought to fruition 7377 says here, yo, what's going on? Thanks so much for being here. And he says here, that's nice is probably what you meant there. But thanks so much, man. Really appreciate it. And Reverie says here, I may have to re-up my lessons in 2026, still using everything you gave me. Thanks so much, man. That's awesome, man. That's great. Yeah, definitely hit me up for sure. I'd be happy to teach it, man. That's great that you're enjoying everything, and you're really using this stuff. I really try to give out a lot of information to people that take my lessons, and I really want them to be worthwhile. So that's great feedback, and that's great to hear that you're using all that knowledge and that information, man. That's awesome. Thanks so much. But yeah, folks, if you guys have any other questions for me, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. Just kind of hanging out here before I leave town to go out and enjoy the holidays. But yeah, this will be my last live stream until it's probably going to be a couple weeks before I can do the next one, just because I'm going to be out of town for the holidays and stuff. So do want to take the time to mention that. But hopefully I'll be able to get some videos out there during the holiday break, but we'll see how it goes. But let's see here. Brought to fruition says here, which amp would you say is an all-around amp for blues to metal? Man, that's really hard to say. I mean, those are just two completely different tones. Man, I mean, maybe, I don't know, man. A tube amp that would do blues and metal. I'm not really a metal player per se. I do like playing heavier music, but I just don't really think of myself as really a metal player. I mean, the diesel VH4 is very expensive, but that is really a great amp that can kind of do just about anything. If you just want to plug straight into it and you want to have a great clean sound, if you want to have a great Marshall-y kind of a crunchy tone on the second channel, or the channel 3 or the 4th channel, it just gets really, really high gain sounds happening. So I probably would recommend that. That's kind of my favorite, amplifier that just really does everything, but it is very expensive. So yeah, I probably would just say that, honestly. I mean, even with the diesel on the clean channel, you could get some bluesier tones, if you turned up the volume and turned up the gain a bit. And then on the channel 3 or channel 4, you could use it for metal. So that's probably what I would recommend. But let's see here. You were looking for a pedal platform amp. Yeah, I mean, man, for something like that, I mean, there's so many great options. I mean, a Deluxe Reverb is an amazing, amazing pedal platform for sure. I mean, an AC-15 is great. I love those for using pedals. The Matchless DC-30, it's based on a Vox AC-30. That's a really good amp that takes pedals well. I mean, there's so many of them out there. I think it just really kind of depends on what you're after, you know. Are you after the Fender sound? Are you after the Vox sound? Or are you after a Marshall sound, you know? Just in my opinion, those are kind of the three main amp sounds that you're going to get that are really actually different, you know. There's a lot of these boutique amp builders that claim that it's really their own circuit, and they, you know, make all these claims about their amps, but really it is actually based upon one of those three circuits. You know, there really are only three different circuits in my opinion, you know. It's really Fender, Vox, or Marshall. Those are really the only three. And, you know, of course, they can modify one of those circuits a little bit, so it's going to sound a bit different, you know, and it's going to be really their take on one of those three, though. That's just kind of normally with these tube amps. That's normally how it goes. So that's just, in my opinion, it's those three circuits. That's it. But let's see here. The Orchard Park Band is in the house. Hey, man, what's going on? Thanks so much for being here. Says here, do you use a feedback buster in acoustic, and what DI or preamp do you use? So I don't use one of those feedback busters. I used to use a J45 reissue, and I just used the stock pickup in that guitar. But then for the DI and preamp, I use a Grace Design Bix, is what it's called. It's BIX, and I just love it. I think it does just amazing things to the acoustic guitar sound. You know, it's kind of like adding a mic preamp to your acoustic guitar sound. It just warms everything up a bit, and it's just great because it has a low and a treble EQ controls on there, and it has a boost as well. So whenever you go in for solos, you know, you can preset a boost and just hit the boost on there. And there's also a mute as well on there. So it's just a really thought out pedal, really well thought out pedal. And I just love what it does, man. I kind of thought at first like maybe it would be kind of like a gimmick. Like I wasn't really sure, like, is it really going to change the acoustic pickup sound that much, you know? But it really did, you know, honestly. And I'm just completely sold on it. I mean, it's my favorite acoustic sound that I've ever gotten live ever, you know. And for me, I don't really like the acoustic guitar pickups, you know. They really don't sound very good to me. It really changes the tone of the acoustic. But with that Grace Design Bix, it is my favorite acoustic sound that I've ever gotten live, you know. But I've never needed a feedback buster, you know. I had a well, I actually still do have this Ibanez acoustic that really does sound very good, honestly, for the money. But I did used to use one of those with that guitar. For whatever reason, it just always had an issue with, you know, with feedback. So I definitely had to use one for that. But with the J45, I never needed one, you know. But I actually just sold my J45 the other day, and I'm going to get a Collings acoustic. So I'm making that change. I'm doing a switch over from Gibson Acoustics to Collings, so I'm really excited about that. They really make some amazing, amazing instruments. You know, they're not cheap, but man, oh man, do they play and sound good. But let's see here. Brought to Fruition says here, true. And then Orchard Park Band says here, played a gig with my Princeton reissue with 12-inch Celestion and had it on 4. Sounded great with a Wampler bell and a Boss EQ. It really worked great and was a huge place. That's awesome, man. Cool. Yeah, man. I mean, that's a great tone, you know. You know, the EQ really works well for getting your solos and particular parts to really jump out within a mix, you know. And yeah, I mean, it just works great, man. So that's a great setup for sure. I mean, you can do literally anything with a Princeton reverb. You know, if you throw a mic on it, it's plenty loud. It works fine. They're just excellent amps. You know, Fender just made so many amazing tube amplifiers. It's just incredible to think about. I mean, a deluxe reverb sounds amazing. The you know, Princeton reverb sounds amazing, and I don't know if you've ever checked out the Pro Junior before, but this is another one of these really small amps that just sound amazing, man. You can turn them all the way up. That's normally how I play them. I just turn them all the way up, and the dial actually goes to 12. Man, you can just plug straight into this thing, and it just sounds amazing, man. You don't need any pedals. You don't need anything. It's just a very simple little combo. You should really check them out, man. They're very affordable too. Even the reissue ones like are what, like I think $600 or something like this. And the Jensen speaker that it comes with, it sounds great. And I really really am liking this amp. I actually played one recently. I don't know if you've seen my video that I did where I just jumped up and I joined this blues band that was playing at this blues jam. But I just jumped up and I used the guitar player's setup. I did bring my SG, but I just plugged straight into his setup and he was running a Pro Junior. And man, I was playing it and I was like, man, I forgot how good that those amps are, and I just love them, man. So I actually ended up just buying one after that, and I just love them. They're very small, very lightweight, very portable, and they just sound great. You can plug straight into them, turn them up. You don't even need any pedals whatsoever. You can just get the gain right off the amp. You don't even have to hit it with a Nobles or anything like this, like you do with like a Deluxe or a Princeton or something. So definitely something to check out there for sure. But anyways, thanks so much for being here, everybody. I really do appreciate it. If you guys have any questions for me, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. I'd be happy to answer. I really do appreciate everybody's support so much, and thank you so much for watching all my videos and supporting me. It really means the world to me. So keep that up, and I'm going to keep making more and more videos. I'm going to keep doing these live streams. I really enjoy it. The only thing with these live streams is that it is truly a donation of time. I make absolutely nothing on these live streams. So if you guys could support me and check out the links down below in the description box, it really helps me out a lot. And it really helps me with making these videos and, really putting in the time to this, because I just really don't make much of anything off of this YouTube thing whatsoever. I mean, this is truly a labor of love. I do it just out of the passion of sharing these instruments with everybody and sharing my music. I think it's a great platform. I think it's awesome. But the reality is I make literally nothing, hardly, off of this. So if you guys could support me, check out all of those links down below in the description box. It really, really helps me out. But let's see here. Orchard Park says here, thank you, very helpful. Yeah, no problem, man. And he also says here, I missed that vid. Which SG do you have? So check it out, man. I did a YouTube short, and I also did a standalone video of it as well. It should be on my channel if you just go back like probably 3 or 4 videos from my latest one. You should definitely see it on there. So check that out. I actually did a short of the performance, and it's doing really well. A lot of people have really been liking it. I've been getting a lot of good feedback from that little video, so it's pretty cool. But the SG that I was playing was a 63, and I still have it. It's actually right over there in my guitar rack. It's just a really, really wonderful guitar. I love the way that it sounds. I love the way that it plays. It's just awesome. But I just was using that, and he had a little pedal board set up, and he had a full tone OCD, but it didn't even need it, because if you turn up the Pro Junior and like I was saying, you turn it all the way up, man, you get plenty of gain off the amp. So that's just what I did, and it sounded excellent. I love the way that that amp sounds, and the guitar tone in that video is just killer. And it's cool with those SGs because you get a little bit more mid-range from those instruments, so when you play an SG with a Fender amp, it's just a really good combination, because you get that additional mid-range from the smaller body and just the design of the SG and the way that it is. It's a bit different in comparison to, say, a Les Paul or a 335. It's not as big sounding as a Les Paul or a 335. So you get this additional mid-range, and that combination with the SG with a Fender style amp, it's just excellent. It's just a really good combination. So yeah, it's just a really good combo, and I love that tone. I use it all the time. So whether it's a deluxe reverb, if it's a Princeton reverb or a Pro Junior, pretty much any Fender amp, man, it's gonna sound great. So really like that combination. But that 63 SG, it's really technically a Les Paul. I know a lot of people have given me shit for this. Technically it is considered a Les Paul, in parentheses, SG body. But really everybody knows it as an SG. So it's kind of like, to even call it a Les Paul nowadays is kind of silly. But it is technically called a Les Paul because that's technically what that model was called in those years, 61, 62, 63. But yeah, I just love that thing. It sounds great, man. And it's very lightweight. It's just crazy with that guitar because it came to me in such, just not really great condition, to be honest. Like, there was a lot of oxidation in the finish, and the bridge pickup, one of the coils wasn't working right. So I had to get that pickup rewound, and it definitely needed new frets. So I just had my tech refret the guitar. I had him rewind the one coil, and I had him use this polish that he has that I don't know exactly what it's made of, but the polish just worked incredibly well to get rid of that oxidation, man. And it just looks amazing. I mean, that guitar came out so good. And I just love bringing these guitars back to life and getting them just absolutely perfect. And man, that guitar just came out perfect. It sounds and plays so good. It's one of my favorite SGs that I've ever played. I mean, it's just incredible. So again, check out that video. The guitar tone is just amazing, and that guitar is really, really inspiring to play. But let's see here. The Mindspace X is in the house. Hey, man, what's going on? Thanks so much for being here. Says here, just joined, LOL. Thanks so much for being here, man. Really appreciate it. And thank you, everybody, for being here once again. I really do appreciate it. If you guys have any questions for me, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. I'd be happy to answer. If you guys would like to support me, check out all of the links that I have down below in the description box. If you want to throw a little love in the Venmo Tip Jar or the PayPal Tip Jar, or even a super chat here in today's live stream, any and all support is truly appreciated. It really is appreciated. This is a donation of time. So again, any and all support is really, really appreciated. Thanks so much for watching. But let's see here. The Orchard Park band says here, what tailpiece do you like on the SG? I was thinking of a new one, and there are 3 choices of tailpieces. So the 63 and 64 would have a Maestro on there. And so I like that. That's what I like. I mean, the Maestro is one of those things. I mean, it's not a Floyd Rose, so you're not going to be doing dive bombs and stuff. I mean, that's where a lot of people, they just don't understand the Maestro at all. They don't understand the design. They think of it like it's like a Floyd Rose or something where you're going to do dive bombs and stuff. And that's just not what it's made for. It's not what it's designed for. It's really just designed to just get a little shake. Like, let's say you're holding out a C-Add 9 chord or something, and you just let that chord ring out, and you just kind of take the Maestro and just give it a little bit of shake, off of the trem. That's really what those Maestros are designed for. It's not really designed to be doing dive bombs and stuff like this. It's definitely not a Floyd Rose. But that's the configuration that I like. I like the Maestro with the ABR1, and I love the patent number pickups. I just think for the SG, 63, 64 are just the best years, absolutely hands down. And I do have a couple of them, actually. I mean, if you were to be interested in a vintage one, I have several. I could maybe let one go just because I do collect SGs. I just love these guitars so much. So if you are interested in that, hit me up. My email is jkm4231@gmail.com. That's linked down below as well. So if you are interested, I could send you a bunch of photos of the guitar and stuff. But just for me, like the vintage SGs in particular, the 63 and 64, those are the best years for the SG. The modern reissue ones are very different instruments, especially the neck. The neck is so different on those reissues compared to the vintage ones. They are very, very different. And to me, the reissues just don't do it for me. It's not the same guitar. And of course, the pickups, the patent number pickups on the old SGs just sound incredible. They just sound amazing. So, I really would recommend a 63 or a 64 SG. They are just incredible guitars, man. They are so inspiring to play. They're very lightweight. The neck profile is just to die for. The patent number pickups, it's got the ABR1. I mean, it's just the perfect guitar, man. It's just awesome. So I really would recommend the Maestro for sure, and especially a vintage one over the reissue one. So, but anyways, let's see here. We've been going already for about 30 minutes, man. This is awesome, man. This is really cool. A lot of great engagement here today, folks. I have been talking about this guitar, especially at the top of this live stream. This is a 60 Epiphone Wilshire. And, I think a lot of people are not really too familiar. They're not too hip with these guitars. So I wanted to share this with everybody here in today's live stream. And I know we talked about it a little bit earlier on in today's live stream, but for those out there that are just joining me, this is really the center focus of today's live stream is this 60 Epiphone Wilshire. This is a really, really cool guitar, very rare because of this configuration here, the stop bar with the ABR1. Most of these are going to have the terrible tremolo that they put on these. And, this is also a 60. So this guitar has this really fat kind of 59 neck profile that just feels amazing to play. So I wanted to share this with everybody. I did make a video on this guitar as well, so go and check that out. But this is just a really cool guitar. And if you are looking for one that has two P90s, that is not a Gibson Les Paul Special, this would be a really good option because, and especially if you can find one with the stop bar and the ABR1, this is just an amazing configuration because you can actually get this guitar to actually intonate properly, unlike a Les Paul Special where it just has the wraparound tailpiece. The wraparound tailpiece will just never be able to get the intonation. You'll never be able to get that right on those guitars. So that is unless you have one of those Music City bridges. But it kind of becomes a question. It's like, well, does it now change the tone of the guitar, though, because of the material with the tailpiece? But, I think they do sound very good, and it is nice that you can actually get those to properly intonate. So with those bridges, and there's no modifications required because it just simply attaches onto the existing studs there. So that's kind of the thing there. But these Wilshires are just really cool, with the factory stop bar and the ABR1. And I love the double cutaway design here where you can really get up the board here and really be able to grab the notes here. So just a really cool guitar. Beautiful cherry red, just really nice. Really nice example of this guitar for sure. So really, really happy with it. But I do also want to take the time to mention, folks, that I do have a guitar for sale. I wanted to see if anybody was interested in this. I just kind of have this hairball idea that I'm wanting to sell this 64 Fender Strat. I just want to put it out there. I'm going to go grab it and I'm going to share it here with you guys as well. So if you guys are interested in this instrument, or if you're interested in any instruments, just hit me up. My email is jkm4231@gmail.com. That is my personal email. I'd be happy to send any photos that you guys want, any questions you guys have for me. Feel free to ask away. I'd be happy to answer, and I'd be happy to send you anything you guys want to see with these instruments. So I'm going to go grab that real quick. This is a 64 Strat that I'm talking about here that I'm gonna go grab here. So I'll be right back. All right, folks. So here is my 64 Strat. It's all original. It is super, super nice. It's got the original ashtray. It's got the trem arm. It's got the original case. It's got gray bottom pickups. They're stamped October of '64. The neck is September of 64. It has the transition logo. And the neck is just to die for on this guitar. It is just absolutely perfect. You can also see here the clay dots. So it's very, very collectible. Really sought after by collectors. It has the original frets on there, the original nut. It's just absolutely perfect. It's in beautiful condition, and the sunburst is just to die for, man. It just looks absolutely amazing. It's got an L plate here on the back, on the neck plate here. It's just perfect, man. It's just like literally the perfect Strat. I just wanted to throw this out there. You know, I am asking 32,000 on this guitar. 32,000 on this. It's totally original. The pots are 64, the 22nd week. It's got a three-way toggle switch here. When I first got this guitar, the three-way toggle was very, very tight. So I just had my tech set this thing up, and I just had him loosen up this three-way toggle switch here, just so that it's a little easier to move it around. But this guitar is a very honest guitar. You know, it's a really, really great guitar. The electronics are completely untouched. They are totally perfect under here. It looks amazing. The only thing with this guitar is that there was a strap button that was installed on the horn here. It's a very tiny hole. You can't even see it probably in the camera. I'm trying to get it to focus in here, but I'm happy to send photos of it. There's just a little tiny screw hole here on the horn where somebody installed a strap button. But other than that, it is absolutely perfect. So once again, this guitar is going to be $32,000. This is a 64 Strat. It's 100% original. One of the cleanest Strats I've ever seen. The ashtray is very clean. The trem arm, I mean, it's just the clay dots, the board itself. It is just perfect, man. It is really, really nice. The neck is just perfect. And, you know, really for the Strat, the 63, 64 years are amazing for this guitar because of this neck profile and the pickups. The pickups and the neck profile, I mean, it's just amazing, man. These are just incredible. And I personally like the clay dots over the pearl dots. They are cooler, I think. So, you know, I just love this thing. Again, it's just incredible. It's such a good guitar. And I've compared this thing against, you know, early 50s Strats, late 50s. I've tried it up against other 63, 64 Strats. And I tell you, man, I think that this guitar just smokes all of them. And I'm not just saying it to say it, you know, because I own it. I mean, I have done a lot of testing. I've experimented. I've compared with a lot of different Stratocasters. And this has hands down been my absolute favorite Strat I have ever heard and I have ever owned. It is just amazing. Perfect weight. And, yeah, it's a perfect 64 Strat, you know. It's got the L series plate there on the back once again. It's got the original back plate there. I mean, the sunburst is just perfect. I mean, even that camera, it really, really captures this sunburst so well. It's just amazing. So, really cool guitar. Again, this is $32,000. It's all original. I have the original case, the ashtray, the trem arm. It's just absolutely perfect. So, hit me up if you're interested. My email is jkm4231@gmail.com. But let's see here. We have Pasta Patate. Hopefully I said that right in the house. What's going on? Thanks so much for being here. Says here, hey everyone. And let's see here. We have the Orchard Park Band saying here, I know you like vintage guitars, but what do you think of PRS? Have you ever owned any or wanted any? You know, I am not really a big fan of PRS guitars. I really appreciate their craftsmanship. I think they build a beautiful instrument. But I just don't like the way that they sound, to be honest with you. I don't like the tone of those guitars. I think their fretwork is really, really good. I think they do a great job with their frets. It feels amazing. And, you know, what is really impressive with those guitars is that they make so many of them, you know, and they all play and sound exactly the same. I mean, that's what is just so crazy to me about PRS. But, To be honest with you, I don't really like that either. I like with Gibsons or Fenders, they're all a little bit different, and I want to be able to pick out the perfect one that I just think sounds the best. I don't want my Strat to sound exactly the same as somebody else's Strat. I don't want my Les Paul to sound exactly the same as somebody else's Les Paul. Like, I want it to be mine. And that's what I just really like with Fender and Gibson. They're all a little bit different, whereas PRS, it's exactly the same. And I just don't really like the tone of those guitars, to be totally honest with you. I really don't. I think a Les Paul, if you compared it to a McCarty or whatever their model is, the single cut that's kind of going after a Les Paul, you'll find that the Les Paul just tonally just absolutely smokes it, man. It just blows it out of the water. So that's just kind of my opinion on that. So I don't really want any, to be honest with you. I'm not, again, just a big PRS guy. But I really do appreciate and really, really respect the instruments that they build. That is not easy to do, man. And they really do make some beautiful stuff. So just not for me, but to each their own. Let's see here. Orchard Park says here, thank you so much and Merry Christmas. No problem, man, and Merry Christmas to you as well. Let's see. Pasta says here, did you see G&L folded up? I have two and really like them, especially the MFD pickups. That's cool. I mean, that's too bad that they folded up, but that's cool that you like the G&L guitars. I don't really have a lot of experience with those, to be honest with you. I am just a diehard Fender and Gibson fan. I just love these instruments. And I do really like the old Epiphones as well. I think they made some amazing instruments back in those days. So, I'm just a Fender and Gibson guy, man. I just love those. And, there's really no point to venture out and try something different because, I'm just not really interested because to me, the tones that I get from a Fender or from a Gibson, it's just everything that I'm looking for. It's everything that I want. And it's just what my ears are so used to. And, it's really what brings out the best in my playing, And for me as a player, I'm very dependent on the instrument. If the neck is not right, if the intonation is off, if the pickups don't sound right, I'm not going to play the same, and it's really going to affect my playing, And I'm just really dependent on the actual instrument. And just to me, the instrument is everything. It's way more important than a tube amp. It's way more important than pedals. It's all about this instrument. If this instrument is not right, forget it, man. I'm just not going to play the same. So, for me, I'm just a Fender and Gibson guy all the way. But let's see here. We have 12KNE in the house. Hey, what's going on? Thanks so much for being here. Says here, Merry Christmas to you and yours. Have you tried out custom-made pickups? Any you recommend checking out? Custom-made pickups. I don't know if that's a particular company or you're just saying in general custom-made pickups. I am not really interested, to be honest with you, because all of these pickup builders nowadays, I don't know, man. I just think that a lot of it is BS and a lot of it is hype. They try to say that they have the exact, magnets or the exact wiring from these old pickups, but they just don't. I've tried all of them, man, and they do not sound nowhere near as good as these old pickups, and again, just in my opinion, the old magnets with these vintage pickups are really what give these pickups their distinct tonal characteristic. There's just something about the way that they have demagnetized over the years, and there's just something about the material. I don't know exactly what the hell it is, but I have done a lot of experimenting with these old pickups, like my 63 SG needed the bridge pickup. The bridge pickup needed to be rewired. It needed to be rewound. And, so because one of the coils wasn't working right. And so I got it rewound, and I tell you, man, it sounds incredible. It sounds literally perfect. And again, this just further, proves my point that I really believe it's just the old magnets. I don't think the wire or any of that stuff really matters, to be honest. I think there's just something about the old magnets. There's something going on there, and they just sound so good, man. To my ears, it's just everything that I want in a guitar, And these new pickup companies, they'll charge 800. I've seen $1,000 pickup sets, and it's like, they're not anything like the vintage pickups. So I don't know, man. It's just kind of silly to me, but I'm just totally into these old pickups, man. There's just nothing better, in my opinion. But let's see here. We have Pasta Potato in the house with a super chat here. Thank you so much. Seriously, I really appreciate that. I really do need your support to continue on making these live streams and these videos. Again, folks, I don't make literally anything off of these videos. This is truly a donation of time. And, I just cannot continue on doing this without your support. So thank you so much, Pasta Potato, for the $4.99 super chat. Really do appreciate that. But also says here, what do you think is the biggest difference in feel from Fender to Gibson? I'm so used to Strats and Tellys. The SG and Les Pauls really feel awkward to me. Yeah, they definitely are different, man. And it's funny because for me, I'm the opposite. I'm really used to the Gibson feel, I'm really used to SGs or Les Pauls or 335s. For me, a Strat, it just feels different, The single coils, of course, the tone is very different. I mean, the necks are different. Just the feel of them in general, it's just a different instrument, and everybody has their preference. You're either a Strat guy, a Tele guy, or an SG guy, or a Les Paul guy, or a 335. Really, everybody is different. Of course, I can play a Strat, no problem. It's all good. I love Strats and I love Telecasters, but I am definitely more of a Gibson guy for sure. It's just more of the tone that I go for a lot of the time. Like an SG with that extra mid-range and the humbucking pickups, it just feels right to me. A 335, it just feels right. But that said, I love a great Strat. And this 64 here, hands down, has been my absolute favorite Strat ever. I have never played a Strat as good as this one. It just feels amazing to me. And again, I am definitely more of a Gibson guy, but I love this thing. I think it just plays and sounds incredible, man. It's hands down and my absolute favorite for a Fender Strat. It's just awesome. And I think it has a lot to do with the neck. This 64 neck profile for me just really works well. And, the reissue Fender guitars just completely butcher these necks. They don't feel anything like these, So for me, again, I am normally more of a Gibson guy, but this neck profile, the 63, 64 profile, for me just works really well. So I would really recommend this for those out there that are Gibson players. Check out these 64 Strats, man. The neck profile is just perfect. And if you're not really a Strat guy, you will really like these guitars a lot because of this neck. It really feels a lot more like a Gibson, for sure. But let's see here. 12KNE says here, I think your experimenting with pickups has paid off because your sound is killer. Something going on there is probably the number of windings the metal used. Yeah, thanks so much, man. I really appreciate that. That's just for me. I just love the old pickups, man. I think the old magnets, there is just something about it, man. And I don't know exactly what the hell it is. If it is the material, if it's just the way that these magnets have demagnetized over the years, I don't know what the hell it is, but it's just a night and day difference. I mean, when you play these old single coils here in this Strat and you compare them to, these reissue Fender guitars, it just makes the reissue Fender guitar just sound like garbage. I mean, it's just like a night and day difference, just to my ears. It's just a night and day difference. So, whoops, let's see here. Pasta says here, you and Tom really have me wanting to get a Les Paul now, but I have been a Fender guy forever. And also says here, your tone on those shorts has been fantastic, so you clearly know your gear. Thanks. I really do appreciate that. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm very particular. For me, I'm really picky on my tone, and I'm really picky with what amp I'm using, and what stuff that I'm using. But I'm really particular about the instrument. To me, if the instrument is not playing right, if it's not intonated, if the pickups don't sound right, if the neck is not right, that's a huge red flag. That's a huge thing for me that it is just it's going to be a huge problem for sure. So, for me, it's all about the instrument. The amps and the pedals and stuff, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It's just, once again, all about the instrument. It's what inspires me to create this stuff. It's what inspires me to play all of the stuff that I play. And my ears are responding to the tones that I'm hearing. So, of course, the amps and the pedals and stuff are important, of course. But once again, the instrument is just absolutely everything, for sure. But let's see here. 12KNE says here, what's a venue you've always wanted to perform in, but haven't yet? Good question. Man, a venue in particular. I mean, I think it would be pretty cool to, what is that venue in the UK? Like Royal Albert Hall, that could be cool. Or, I'm trying to think of some other ones that would be cool. Of course, like, I don't know, some kind of big stadium or something, maybe like, like Soldier Field or something, or, I don't know. I mean, I've done a lot of stuff, so I've been really happy with the places that I've played at. But yeah, there's some really great venues out there. Playing like Soldier Field, or even like somewhere out in the UK would be really cool. That'd be awesome. So that's probably what I would say to that. But man, we've been going here about 52 minutes here, folks. I'm probably going to stay live here for a little bit longer. But if you guys have any other questions for me, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. I'd be happy to answer. Once again, I do have here this 1964 Fender Stratocaster. It's 100% original. It is perfect. It's one of the nicest ones I've ever seen. This is $32,000 on this. I have the original case as well. You can see here I've got the ashtray and the trem arm as well. It's all totally perfect. It's in very good condition. It's got the L plate on the back there. The sunburst is just absolutely perfect. It's just awesome. And it's just pretty much the perfect Stratocaster. Honestly, it's just really great. It's still got the original frets on here, and they feel great. Even if you like to bend, it still feels fine. They're not too low. It's pretty much the perfect Strat. It's the nicest one I've ever seen. And I've compared this guitar with many 50s Strats and many 60s Strats, and this has been my absolute favorite Stratocaster ever. So if you are interested in this guitar, hit me up. My email is jkm4231@gmail.com. I'd be happy to send you whatever photos you guys would like to see. Any questions you guys have about this stuff, feel free to just hit me up in my email there. This is just an amazing guitar. It really is killer. But let's see here. Pasta says here, any newer players you've been digging lately? And are you still planning on releasing some original music? Some newer players that I've been digging lately. Man, off the top of my head, I don't know, man. I'm not really too hip with a lot of the newer players, to be honest with you. I just do my own thing, and I just do what I do, and I don't normally like to listen to a lot of other players because, it can be distracting, from my own playing. But not really, I think there's a lot of elementary players here on YouTube, just to be completely honest with you. So I'm just not really that interested in taking a listen to some of these other players. Some of the stuff that I have heard, like some of the note choices over these chords that they're playing over, it's just so off, and it just drives my ears crazy, just to be completely honest with you. So I don't really listen to a lot of the players here on YouTube, because I've just heard some stuff in the past, and it really just drives my ears crazy, and I'm just not really that into it. Um, but yeah, I don't really know honestly of any newer players that I've really been like, yeah, like man, they can really play. I will say I have listened to Doug Rappaport over the years, but he's not really a newer player. I really like his playing. I think he's great. He's excellent. He's a really really good guitar player. But really, that's the only name that comes to mind off the top of my head that I would say maybe is a newer player. I mean, but he has been around for a while, so he's great though. I really like his playing a lot. But let's see here. The Orchard Park Band says here, which Collings are you getting? I think you would love a Martin too, especially an old one. So the Collings that I'm looking at getting is a J45 style acoustic. And I also really like the OM2H. That's the other model that I really like a lot. I really would like to have two of them. I'd like to have one that's a J45 style, and I'd like to have that OM2H because it is a bit of a different tone. Because the OM2H just has this smaller body, and it's just brighter. It's more percussive. It's a very good sound. Whereas, the J45 is a bit different because it is a bigger body, but I do like that tone as well. And I like gigging with J45 style acoustics, That's just what I prefer. But I do really like the OM2H as well. So I could go either way. I honestly would like to have both. It kind of sucks with those guitars. They normally don't come with a pickup. Of course, they can install one, but it is extra. And they are very, very expensive acoustics, man. It's just kind of crazy, but they really do make amazing stuff, honestly. They really do. They make a great instrument. And you say you think that I would love an old Martin. Yeah, I think that would be cool. Normally for me, I'm not big on vintage acoustic guitars just because they have a lot of issues, to be honest with you. They have a lot of cracks. They've got neck resets. They've got all kinds of problems going on. And, vintage acoustics are a lot different in comparison to old electrics. Acoustics are very fragile. They're very different instruments, And I'm lucky, I have this mint condition. It's absolutely perfect. There's no breaks, no neck resets, no cracks, no anything. On this 64 Hummingbird that I have, it's a very, very rare thing to see an old acoustic without any kind of cracks or repairs going on. So I'm really, really happy with that guitar. It's just amazing sounding. It sounds so good, man. And I'm really lucky to have that one. But that is very, very rare to find that, because these old acoustics just have so many problems. They really do. And, they sell for crazy, stupid money. And it's just, for me, I'm not really into old acoustics, honestly. A 64 Hummingbird, hell yeah, let's go, for sure. But I don't know, man. Some of these older acoustics that are, crazy money and they have all these issues, I'm just not really that into it, man. And that's what I love so much about these vintage electrics is that, they're very stable instruments. They need very little. Maybe every now and then, just a little truss rod tweak or something, in the wintertime. But really outside of that, that's it. They're very stable instruments. And that's what I prefer. I just like vintage electrics. So, but let's see here. 12KNE says here, one day Neural will make a plug-in after your sound. The amount of money being made in that business is insane. Man, that would be awesome. Yeah, and I totally believe it. I totally believe it, man. I'm sure they're just killing it. I mean, it kind of seems like as far as modeling goes, the neural stuff is definitely pretty next level. I have played those quad cortexes, but it's like, man, I don't know. It's just not for me, because they're very convenient and stuff, but I just like the interaction that you get from a tube amp. Like it's just, man, you feel this energy and you're moving air, and it's just such a different experience. And I get it, man. It's consistent. It works every night, and there is something to be said about that, because tube amps can be a pain in the ass, to be honest with you. They really can. And, they can have issues, they can have problems, and, especially old tube amps, man, they can have problems, and they're not as reliable in my experience, but man, they really do sound great. They are really, really excellent. So, you know, um, it's just kind of one of those things. So, that's just what I prefer. And for me, I like a really simple tube amp. Like I was talking earlier about the Fender Pro Junior amp, and there's just literally two knobs. And, with those amps, you can just turn them all the way up and they just distort. They sound awesome, you know? So, it's cool. But I definitely believe it, man. It seems like a lot of people are buying those modelers for sure. So, man. But, anyways, let's see here. We're at an hour and 1 minute here. If you guys have any other questions for me, feel free to leave it there in the chat box. I don't think I'm going to go on here for too much longer. I really do appreciate everybody's support so much. It really does mean the world to me. Thank you guys so much for watching these videos and joining me here in today's live stream. If you guys would like to support me, check out all of the links that I have down below in the description box. There are many ways that you can support me here on this channel, and I truly need your support to continue on making these videos. This is truly a labor of love. I make next to nothing off of this stuff here on YouTube. So I truly need your support to continue on doing this. So, check out all of those links down below in the description box. There are many ways you can support me. And thanks so much for watching, and thanks so much for listening. And we have 12KNE says here, Merry Christmas, Justin, and everyone. Yes, Merry Christmas to you as well. Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Happy holidays. Have a great holiday season. I, once again, am very thankful for everybody out there that, supports me here on YouTube. It really means the world to me. I'm very thankful for all the supporters. And, I hope everybody has a great holiday. I am going to be taking a couple weeks off from YouTube. I'm not going to be doing live streams or videos. I may try to get up a video or two over this holiday break, but we'll see how that goes. I think it's going to be a little bit difficult. So I'll keep you guys posted on that, but stay tuned. I have a bunch more videos, and I'll let you guys know when the next live stream is. Right now, it's probably going to be 2 or 3 weeks from today, so that's probably going to be when the next live stream is, but just stay tuned. I'll do a post here on the community page, and I'll keep you guys updated for sure. But let's see here. We have CZ in the house. Hey, CZ, what's going on? Thanks so much for being here. She says here, heart emoji. Hi, Justin. What's going on? Thanks so much for being here. Really do appreciate it. But I really appreciate everybody's support once again so much. It really means the world to me. But I think that is all for today's live stream. Thank you guys again for joining me, and thanks for all the questions. I really do appreciate it so much. Have a great holiday, have a great Christmas, and we'll see you all next time. Take care.